Alright, this is the video for worksheet 2-2. I did part of number 9 with the class, and I did 11 and 13. So the most important thing to understand on number 9 is the notation that they're using. When they write a number in the parentheses, it's referring to the x. When they write the number outside, they're referring to the y. So on letter A, it says find f of 0 and f of negative 6. So that means when x is 0, find the y. When x is negative 6, find the y. So f of 0. When x is 0, y is 3. Now we're going to do f of negative 6. When x is negative 6, y is negative 3. That's simple. Skip down to C. On C, it says, is f of 3 positive or negative? So that means when x is equal to 3, is your y value positive or negative? So I go to where x equals 3, 1, 2, 3. I go hit the graph. With that y value right there, be positive or negative? It's positive. Okay, let's go look at E. E says, for what numbers of x is f of x equal to 0? Well, this time they gave me the outside. So this time they gave me the y, and they want to know, where does the x value equal 0 when y is 0? Okay, so I'm going to look at my graph. Y is 0 at negative 3, y is 0 at 6, and y is 0 at 10. So it happens in 3 different places. When x equals negative 3, comma, when x equals 6, comma, when x equals 10. Letter G and H are talking about the domain and the range. When they ask you about domain, you're always going from your left to your right. So my leftmost x is negative 6, and it's a closed circle. So I'm going to include it by using a bracket. And my rightmost x is 11. Again, I have a closed circle, so I'm going to use a bracket to include it. The range values are going to always go from the lowest point to the highest point. So the lowest y value on the graph is negative 3, and the highest y value on the graph is positive 4. I think you can do I and J. They're just asking for intercepts. Let's go look at K. K says, how often does the line y equals 1/2 intersect the graph? So you have to know that y equals 1/2 and where it is on the graph. So I'm going to come up here. And 1/2 would be right here. And I'm going to draw a line going straight across. And all they want to know is how many times do I touch that dashed line I just drew. I touch it once here, here, and here. So I touch that dashed line 3 times. So it's going to be 3. Let's go look at letter N. For what values of x does f of x equal negative 2? This is outside, so this is my y. So they want to know, where does the y value equal negative 2? And they want to know, what are the x's? Okay, so y is negative 2 when x is negative 5, and when x is 8. So 2 spots. So we're going to write down x equals negative 5, comma, 8. At the bottom of the paper, on 11 through 13, they want you to decide if it's a function or not. If it is, you get to answer all these questions, and if it's not, you're done. So you're going to do what we call the vertical line test, and you can draw a little vertical line. If it touches more than once, it's not a function. This touches more than once, it's not a function. Because it's not a function, I'm not going to answer any of the questions below it. Let's go look at 13. On 13, anywhere I draw a vertical line, it only touches the picture 1 time. So this one's a function. Because it's a function, I'm going to go answer all the questions that follow. The domain is your left to right. So we're going from negative pi to positive pi inclusive. Your range is going from negative 1 to positive 1 inclusive. Your intercepts, it wants all of them. Everywhere it touches an axis. So it touches the x, it touches the y, and it touches the x again. I'm going to write all of them. So I've got negative pi over 2 comma 0, 0 comma 1, and positive pi over 2 comma 0. Where they ask about symmetry, they want to know, can I fold it over the y? Is it symmetric to the y? Can I fold it over the x? Is it symmetric to the x? Or can I fold it over the origin, which means you do a double flip over the y and the x?
Well, if I took this picture and I folded it like this, it would lie on top of itself, so it's symmetric to the y-axis. And there is the video to help you with worksheet 2.2.